Thank you so much for taking the time to do this today.
Pleasure. Thank you for. Oh, look at you. You a Star Wars fan?
No, it's actually none of that is Star Wars. I actually only, well, I lied because I have one thing of Star Wars, and that's only because I went to Comic-Con, and I think it's actually the reverse way I'm pointing, but that's it. No, it's all mainly Tim Burton collectibles, Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles, things of that nature.
Cool. You are the personification of like a modern day geek.
Yes, pretty much.
The best possible way.
Thank you very much. I love that.
I'm a geek.
But you have the best kind of backdrop, the intelligent backdrop with the books. Look at that. Look at that.
Well, actually, I was the other way around is my notice board that has all my writing. The other way is like a deep dive into what I'm working on. So I was like, I got to do the really obvious one of books.
I play a journalist in this movie, so I'm going to use the book background for the journalist movie.
But I don't know what my books are, so that I could be, giving away how deeply uneducated I am with some of my choices.
What do you got? The Twilight books back there? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I definitely don't. No, actually, I am a total book snob, and I judge people on their book collection. So come judge me because my book collection is great.
So I actually watched this movie last night, and I want to ask just the first question because I talked to Timur, and like his camera was awful today. Like we literally got like one question and it was choppy. So I'm going to be bouncing a lot of questions off of you that I didn't get to ask him. Why did a movie this freaking good not get released when it was done in 2018?
Well, first of all, I will take that compliment that you said it's pretty good. Because I think Timur was really, really aware of finding the right outlet. The material is very contentious, and he and Anna had a very close relationship. So I know that he wanted it to be handled well and to be given the right forum. And B, the inner workings of Timur Bekmambetov will always confuse me. I know he is a fascinating man. So I think finding focus, finding Universal was the perfect fit. And it almost just feels like the right time for it to come out, I
thought this movie was fascinating. I was taken back by it. And I was a big advocate for Searching. That was the film that really exposed me to the screenlife technology. Yeah. And I fell in love with that movie, and I was a huge supporter of that film. But I think this movie's even better because this movie is just scary shit that like just seems so grounded in reality.
Because it happened.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm literally watching this and I'm questioning everything that I'm watching. So I'm watching you act, and I'm watching you look at videos, and I'm saying to myself, is this video made for this movie, or is she looking at real footage? And
I know.
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, there was a lot of real footage. So like what was really cool was, and it's so rare that you get this, but I was able to, I met Anna on Skype, very meta, at the end of rehearsal before we started shooting. And then she very kindly allowed me to view her screen and watch some of the videos with her and Bilal that she'd recorded. Obviously she couldn't send them to us.
Right.
And that was so informative and scary, because obviously I read the book and like the subject matter is really scary. And then I had to like learn how to do screenlife, because I was, it was my desktop. So I had to like figure out how to work that. How to be that quick to, in terms of like, there's only so much you can do in post. So I had to be on it. But it was so amazing watching those videos and really seeing her interact with Bilal. I mean, it was really, it really informed how I played Melody, because I had to make Amy, I had to make Amy a Londoner. I wasn't copying Anna, but I did want to copy a lot of Melody,
Yeah, I mean, I think that was what made that so convincing to watch, is that as you're watching the movie and your relationship is growing, you sort of start seeing the human aspect of people and what connects us, right? Like where you see the emotional connection, and then the story happens where, oh, this is what happened to my brother, this is what happened to the, and you're sort of like, maybe he's not that bad of a person after all. So like, even as a viewer, you're falling into the trap. So you're
Yeah.
there with Amy, Melody, of like this confliction that you're like, yes, he's doing horrible things, but it's also like, maybe it's just because he believes, because we all know that like a lot of stuff within religion, people do some crazy stuff with it.
Well, completely. And I mean, I grew up in Northern Ireland where religion has totally overtaken, so much rationality in terms of, I mean, and now it's back again. But I think that's what was really interesting was in the research that Shazad did, was like seeing like so many of these recruiters were also just young boys. Like they were young kids that were lost and isolated from the world and alone. And I think what's so beautiful about this story is that, we've seen on the news and we've heard these stories, and they're so impersonal, and they're so like, it always felt very other, like, oh, that's something that happens there, and then you watch the story and it's really, it's the specificity of Anna's story, and how Bilal was, he was an outsider too. And it's the story of these outsiders, both of these outsiders trying to, they're tricking each other, but while they're tricking each other, they're kind of maybe falling in love for real.
Yeah.
And so all of the lines are being blurred, which I think is so fascinating, and was so fascinating to play because it really happened for her.
Yeah. What was the, I don't know how a casting process works for this film. How did that work out for you?
Completely bizarre and weird. Not on Skype, but I didn't get the subject material until like very far into the casting process. So what originally attracted me was, an email with Timur is doing a film. Great. What incredible honor to be able to audition for him. And then it's going to be improvised. And that to me is like, is so like, it's my jam. It's like, it's where I feel most comfortable. It's where I think like the best work comes. And then I, improvised random things for weeks until I was finally, told like, I had, after recall after recall after recall, and then it's like, okay, so this is the story and here's the book, so go read it and then come back, and then we need to find those two characters, because the final tape that I did was really Amy transforming into Melody, and it was that what Timur wanted to see was, can I believe that this actress can do it?
Yeah,
and he did.
I mean, I think you pulled it off 100%. You really do become both these people. And I think there's a unique rawness to your performance in this film. And he was explaining it to me, is that there's no cameras, there's no makeup, it's just you, right? You're acting, there's nothing else there. So you're just, the camera is on you all the time. And everything we're watching unfold is happening in real time. I mean, that's what's fascinating about this movie, because essentially it's, for the way I saw it at the end of it, it's basically like a retelling of all the events, not it happening in real time, but literally like how it started and how it ended. And that's what makes it like so crazy to watch, because you're watching a person kind of have this descent into madness, where they're sitting there, they're taking an assignment, they need money to pay their rent. Then all of a sudden they're getting connected into this universe, and then they start falling in love, and you start believing this, and then you start questioning yourself. And then by the time the movie kind of comes to the end, you're back to, oh my God, what the hell is she doing? Why is she going to Istanbul? Like, why is this happening right now? And the video at the end is more horrifying than any horror movie that I've ever seen. Where that literally, where you see you mess up and you show
him find her.
Yeah, the find her video, where like literally you showed by accident, you showed the ticket, and then he takes the name, and then they do that like montage of like, here's the street location. Oh my God, Crazy.
So clever. I was like, when I first saw that, I was like, oh, that's good.
Did that
Yeah.
aspect of it really happen or no?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. That really happened. And they really contacted her family, and, you know, she's in hiding. You know, they were able to figure out, because I think, as you see, she unraveled so much.
Yes.
And I think that's what's so sort of poignant about us today being online so much, is
We
that
reveal anything to anyone. Like, look at social media. People are like, oh, I have bipolar. I'm blah, 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 blah. And you're like, you're telling a world of strangers.
it's mad to me. I mean, I'm very, very anti-social media. I mean, I have it for my work, but I find it a frightening.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't really go on it, but sometimes when I do, I'm so alarmed at girls that are like 15 and 16 just showing their entire lives, you know. And I think sometime you're going to want to go and get a job somewhere. Like, I don't know, but then we live in a different world. But I think that's the thing, she unraveled so much that she forgot what she was doing. She completely forgot herself and gave away way too much information, which is why she's now in hiding, you know.
Yeah. I mean, this is a weird question. I apologize to end on this, but I mean, it's something that I think about when I watch this movie. Were you afraid of doing a movie like this, considering the fact that this stuff is very much a real thing that happens?
Yeah, I think both me and Shazad were definitely had some trepidation about doing it at the beginning, because particularly when we filmed it, it was in the news a lot more. But it's art, you know, and it's the depiction of a real woman's journey. It's not something that we're sensationalizing. And I think sometimes you got to push the boundaries when you're trying to make art. You know, I think both of us sort of had a firm talk with ourselves, with each other. We trusted each other implicitly. I trusted Timur implicitly, and I knew that the material was going to be handled well. And so the fear dissipated quite quickly. But yes, for sure, at the beginning, it's a scary world.
That's what I'm saying. I just was watching this movie and I just thought to myself, like, in knowing the fact that it's based on someone's real life story, it just, to me, all of that would just give me such tension that I don't know at the end of the day if I would be able to do it.
Well, I mean, you don't think actors are mad.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, they're telling me to wrap it up, but honestly, I hope this movie gets the audience it deserves. It really was something else. A very unique story that was told in a very unique way. And I adored you in the film. I can't wait to see more of you. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you, Scott. That's so lovely to hear. Thank you for saying that.
No problem at all. You have a wonderful day, okay?
Thank you. You too.
All right. Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.